Good afternoon, JM Pro. My name is Joaquin, and in our current state, teacher shortages and burnout are becoming an increasing problem, with lawmakers failing to alleviate crushing workloads and increase salaries. But today, we speak with Kimberly Nava with the Department of Education at UNCA, where I am at right now, to give us a bit more information on this subject. Today with Kimberly, we talk about her upbringing, career path, and her recent fellowship with Latinx ED. Make sure to stay tuned to not miss this interesting interview, as always brought to you by JM Pro TV. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. So, Kimberly, you have around 19 years by now, somewhere around that, in education. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's crazy to think that it's that long.
Almost 2 decades. It's a lot. Yeah,
it is a lot. So I always, as a little girl, wanted to be a teacher. So, but I don't think little Kimberly would have thought I would have had a doctorate and be a professor. I didn't see that in my family, so I didn't think of that as an option. But I was born in Los Angeles. My mother is a Mexican immigrant from Jalisco. My father is a white American from here in Western North Carolina. And when I was 8 years old, we moved here to Asheville. And I went to Woodfin Elementary School, went through the Buncombe County school system, and realized that I was different from all the other kids. And so I blended in. My name Kimberly helped with that, right? And but I always wanted to play school with my little sister and my cousins. And when I was in high school at Irwin High, I had a Spanish teacher who really helped me start to be more connected to my cultural identity. UNC Asheville was a great choice for me because I grew up in Woodfin, and so it was close by. The campus didn't feel big and overwhelming, and as a first generation kid, that felt like a good, safe start. And it ended up being the best place for me. It's where I really grew. I started the first Latinx student organization here in 2003, and so I really did thrive here. I made space that was needed. And I made connections here that are just like lifelong connections. And it's in this very same building where I was trained to be a teacher. And when I graduated 20 years ago, in 2005, I became a student teacher at Claxton Elementary and fell in love with that school, fell in love with Asheville City Schools. So I took a job at Jones Elementary, worked there for 2 years, and the moment a position became available at Claxton, I jumped back over there. So I taught 5th grade there. And after 6 years of teaching in the classroom, I decided to get my master's at App State, and I wanted more opportunities. And so I moved into a technology coach role from there, and it was the first time that I went from just thinking about my own classroom and what I like to think of as like my bubble, to then seeing the whole picture of a school. So I was working with kindergarten and 5th grade, but also the principal and the Spanish teacher or the art teacher. And so I got to see all the moving parts that are needed to make a school function and be the best place it can be for all students. After that, there was a program that was available at App State for a doctorate program.
Okay.
And I didn't even know what I wanted a doctorate in, but I was like,
you just wanted to go for it.
I wanted to go for it, right? Like if I can, I should. And after I got my doctorate, I still worked at Claxton for a year after that. But just like somebody said, they were like, once you get a doctorate, there are going to be doors open for you that you didn't even know were a possibility for you. And so I took that. It was awesome. I loved it. I stayed there for a year, and then I had to move to the education department because the Center for Diversity Education had to be closed.
Oh, okay.
And so I moved here, and then I started to teach classes here and get to see what it was like to teach. I had taught students here before. I was an adjunct while I was at Claxton as well.
Can you explain what an adjunct is?
Yeah, an adjunct is like Maybe like a substitute teacher.
Okay.
Right? Like, so you come in and you support a course, you teach the whole semester, but you're not part of the permanent faculty or staff or department.
See. So, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a step up from a substitute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I had done that while I was at Claxton and thought, oh, well, maybe I do want to teach people who are interested in being teachers.
Going back a little bit, you mentioned something about, I think this was your job in Claxton teaching, where you had a sort of technology teaching career?
Yes.
Right? And I remember the word technology being mentioned. So can you explain to us a little bit more on what you did there?
Yeah, so I was, technically the title was Digital Lead Teacher at Asheville City Schools. And I supported K through 5 classrooms and how to best integrate technology into their classroom.
Oh, I see.
So, you know, a lot of schools will purchase smart boards or interactive boards or iPads and Chromebooks. And if you don't have a coach or someone that can help you think through what does it look like to put an iPad in a kindergartner's hands, then that can be really overwhelming, or the technology doesn't get used in the best potential that it could be used in. Would meet with teachers to go through what their lessons look like, to talk about how can you integrate this in math, or what does it look like to make sure that students know how to be safe online. And so I would do internet safety classes. I would, but I also kind of just supported wherever I was needed. And so, you know, sometimes I would just go and get to observe teachers and give them feedback on things. Or I would get to do cool projects where we would learn about computer science and play with robots. And so, yeah, it's a pretty sweet gig.
So all that was, you were getting just super acclimated into the whole teaching environment there.
Yeah.
What drove you from going through the whole technology coach into more of a educator on educators?
Yeah, so part of being a coach, even though technology was the driving force, part of being a coach was helping teachers think through their teaching. And so I was supporting their pedagogy, you know, how they would deliver content, how they would talk about things, or how they were being inclusive or not being inclusive of all their students. And so I was already coaching or facilitating.
You were already
educators.
Kind of teaching them just in a more fixed field, but now you sort of cover a more broad subject, just teaching in general.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Recently received a fellowship with Latinx Ed.
Yes.
Could you explain to us what that is and what they do?
Latinx Ed is an awesome nonprofit that is based in the Piedmont region of North Carolina, and I've been following them for a while. For me, I have felt like there aren't other people like me in this profession. When I worked in Asheville City Schools, I was a lot of the time one of the only Latinas in the building, or native Spanish speakers, and so that feels sometimes isolating. And so I started following Latinx Ed on their social media and seeing like, oh, look at what they're doing. And so I heard about the Latinx Ed Summit, and that was the first time in my career. And, you know, I've been doing this for a minute. It's the first time in my career that I walked into a ballroom and there's 300 other Latinx professionals in this space.
People like you.
People like me, right? But also people different from me, and that was awesome. And so to be reminded like Latino, Latina, Latine means different things and doesn't mean one thing. And also to be part of that one community that has the goal of Latinx education is super important for me. What's nice about the Latinx Ed Summit, which is open to students, professionals, people that are in higher ed, people that are in K-12, people that are in community colleges. If you're passionate about education and what it means for Latinx students in our state, then this is the place for you. And so getting to go there and hearing about policies that impact the Latinx community. Last year, they hosted the North Carolina Superintendent Debate. And so it was the two candidates at the time, which was Michelle Morrow and Mo Green. And they heard questions from us that were directly impacting our community. And it was really awesome to see these two candidates that make such a big difference in how our Latina community will be impacted. So that was really cool that they gave space for that. But also there's just breakout sessions to learn more about specific themes or specific topics. So the Latinx Ed Summit is awesome. It happens this year, it's in October and in Greensboro, and you just need to register for it. There is a cost for it, but there is a different cost if you're a student, which is nice.
Okay. And these conferences aren't just for educators, it's for anyone who wants to attend?
Anyone who's interested in Latinx education.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. So I love that there is a space for that in our community, especially at the state level, to hear what's happening in Eastern North Carolina versus Western North Carolina. And so the Latinx Ed Fellow was the next step up for me, right? Like I was like, I already love this organization and what they do. How can I be more connected? And so I had applied for this fellowship, and I'm one of 40 people across the state this year. And it's a beautiful group of people from all different Latina identities, but also different careers. And so some people work at higher ed, some people are counselors at a high school, or some people are at their community college with certain engagement groups or advising students. Some people are fresh out of college and starting a new career in higher ed or whatever. There are even some folks that help support education in the health field, and so it's not necessarily directly a school, but how they do education in a hospital. It was really fascinating.
Okay, so just education all around the board.
Yeah.
Wherever you can see it, they can, okay, wow.
It's a really important group, I think, for advocacy and for just being aware of what's happening. Because if we don't know what's going on, how are we going to make things better for ourselves and others?
Exactly, make the changes that really count.
Right, yeah.
And this sounds like an excellent space, especially with what you were telling me with the WhatsApp group and everything.
Yeah.
To really just stay like directly connected with other educators so that you can all, make a difference together. Because there really is, that power in numbers, in coordination.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And even if you're not a fellow, they have an amazing newsletter that you can sign up, and they give you a rundown of what's going on, not only with the organization, but things that are impacting the Latinx community across the state. So that's another great resource for folks to know about.
And how do people get more involved with Latinx Ed? What's the sign-up process like?
Yeah, so I would say their social media is the best way to get just a glimpse of what they do. So Latinx Ed is on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, but they also have, like I said, a newsletter so that they can sign up and see what best avenue they want to take. Yeah.
And where could you find their newsletter?
On their website, which I believe is latinxed.org.
Thank you so much. And apart from Latinx Ed, how can people get more in contact with you? And for more information about the Department of Education and UNCA, or anything else they might want to ask you personally, how could people get in contact?
My email is the best way to get a hold of me. I'd be happy to talk to anybody who's interested in UNCA for the Education Department or UNCA in general. We also have an amazing Latinx Ed fellow here at UNCA, Fabián Moreno, and he's our director for admissions. So we can connect you to learn more about UNC Asheville via email, but you are also welcome to reach out to me if you want to know more about Latinx Ed in general, and I can point you in the right direction.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, and thank you, JM Pro Media, for all that you do in our community.